It's clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, guys, in the last class, we have discussed about what is cooperation, what is science of cooperation. Indeed, the topic that we're going to discuss today, the group consciousness, is a very connected topic to the science of cooperation. First, we will see what is group consciousness, what is group in a general manner, and then we will delve into the spiritual understanding of group consciousness. So, my dear friends, a group in a generic term is nothing but a collection of people, okay? But it is not just a collection of some random people, collection of people who have a common goal and a common purpose, okay? And who are trying to reach that goal through certain characteristics, like they need to have cooperation in between them, they need to have perseverance towards the common goal that they're going to achieve, and they also and they also need to have certain selfless motive to be part of that group, and in the way that they're striving to achieve the common goal. So the cooperation, perseverance, and selfless motive, this makes a group, okay? And where every group member intention is to make the whole group healthy, happy, prosperous, or enlightened, or safe, where every group member is cooperating with every other group member and contributing to every other group member and working together to achieve that common goal. Okay? And the number of people in a group can be anywhere from 3 to millions of people. Okay, and as the number increases, okay, the group needs to have greater virtues. The group needs to have greater efficiency to keep the group intact. So a group, like a family can be a group, a circle of friends can be a group, you can have your colleagues as a group, you can have the whole nation as a group, even you can also take whole humanity as a global group. So there can be different degrees of group formation. So group consciousness is nothing but the sum total consciousness of all the individuals who, through their sincere efforts, have merged their consciousness, have fused their consciousness, or have blended their consciousness with that of the other people consciousness who are in the group. So that is nothing but group consciousness. So every person has consciousness, but group consciousness is a collective consciousness. Okay, so a group will not become a true group unless the consciousness of the members of the group are fused with each other or blended with each other, just like you blend a coffee, right? So unless the consciousness of the members of the group are blended with each other comfortably, are merged with each other comfortably, it will not form a group. So this is group consciousness in the regular understanding. Okay, but when we go deeper into understanding group consciousness, we'll see what is consciousness. We'll start from there. What is consciousness? Consciousness means being conscious of or being aware of. So being aware of what? Being conscious of what? Being aware of your internal existence and being aware of your external existence. That is, being aware of your existence. That is consciousness. Okay. So consciousness is being aware of your own existence and being aware of others' existence also, right? That is consciousness. What is group consciousness? Group consciousness is that awareness where you will know that your true self is existing not just within you but also within others, and that awareness that the true self of others is also not just existing with themselves but also within you. My dear friends, let me repeat this for your understanding again. Consciousness is being conscious or being aware of others. Okay, and group consciousness is that awareness of your own true self existing within others, or that awareness of the true self of others existing in you. So you are not separate from the other person. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. This is a popular Upanishadic statement which most of you have heard. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti means there is one truth. The learned persons or the sages or seers have told you with different names. There's a different purpose why they have told you in different names. But the truth is always one. Who is the truth? The truth is you, the real you. Not anybody else. Even if anybody else, everyone else is also you. So you are existing not just in you yourself, but you are existing in every other person. That consciousness of your own existence in yourself and others, in every other person, in every other entity, that is group consciousness. So, my dear friends, everyone is in a journey. Everyone is in a journey from separation to oneness. So, when we have taken this body, we are playing the game of separation, right? You feel or you think initially that you are separate from the other. That is what we are conditioned with. And then gradually, as you progress in your own spiritual understandings, then you will understand at one point that there's a possibility of you existing in everyone around, in everything around. There's a possibility that you exist in others. There's a possibility that others also exist in you. If you are aware of that fact, that your true self is existing within others and the true self of others is also existing in you, then that can be called as group consciousness. Then you can operate in a group. See, if you're present in a group, if you're contributing in a group while feeling that you're separate, while not knowing the fact that you also exist in the other person is also existing in you, that then you're not a right candidate for the group, my dear friends. So only a person with this understanding, with this group consciousness, will be a right candidate to be part of a group. So we'll see what is this other. What is the understanding of other one needs to have. When I said that you exist in other and the others also exist in you, you need to know what is this other. See, we know that we are the physical body because we see it, but there are six other bodies also. You're not just your physical body, you have 7 bodies, my dear friend. So you have your physical body, you have your etheric body, you have your astral body, you have your emotional body, you have your mental body, you have your spiritual body, you have your cosmic body, you have your nirvanic body. What about the other bodies? So when you are conscious of the other, that means you are not just conscious of your physical body, you're also conscious of your other 6 bodies that exist. And you're not just conscious of your own needs, your own self, but you're also conscious of your family, your community, your state, your nation. And not just you're conscious of just the human beings because you're a human being, but you're also conscious of the other animal beings, other plant beings. You're also conscious of the mineral kingdom. You're also conscious of the nature. You're also conscious of the planet. You're also conscious of the entire solar system, the galaxy and the cosmos. So all this combined together can be called as others. So when you're conscious, when you're aware of your true self existing in all these others, when you know that your true self is residing in not just your physical body, but all the other 6 bodies, when you know that your true self is residing in not just you, but it is also residing in your family, in your state, in your nation, in the world. When you know that your true self is residing in not just you, but also in the animal beings, also in the mineral kingdom, also in the plant beings, also in the nature, also in the planet, also in the solar system, and the galaxy and the cosmos, then yes, you can be called as a person who has group consciousness. This is the starting point for group consciousness. I want you to really reflect on it. I want you to introspect on it and check what is your level of consciousness. Are you still playing the game of individual consciousness, or are you evolving towards group consciousness? Because the way towards oneness is only through the path of group consciousness. Group consciousness is your ticket to oneness, my dear friends. Everyone has to finally come to the space of oneness, come to the understanding of oneness, come to the wisdom of oneness, come to the being of oneness. In that journey, you cannot miss the path of group consciousness. You need to tread through the path of group consciousness to achieve the space of oneness inside you, my dear friends. So, to sum it up, consciousness is the awareness of the existence of others. There are so many people who are living their life where they think they are individuals. They have their own body, their own mind, and they're separate. They live for themselves. But a person who has a greater understanding, who has group consciousness, has the awareness of his existing, has the awareness of his existence in all these others, what I have just spoken about. So group consciousness is the awareness of the existence of your real self in all these others. Okay. So my dear friends, now I think you are now clear that bringing some people together does not form a group. It is an illusion. It does not form a group. So there are some people who are not yet ready to become members of a real group. Sometimes they need a long period of suffering and pain to break their crystallization, to break their tendencies to isolate themselves, because they have this separation built into their mind and body so much. They need to come out of that. They need to tread the journey of oneness. They need to tread the journey of group consciousness to get into the space of oneness. And you cannot force anyone to get group consciousness. You cannot force some people to become members of a group, because once you force them and they become members of a group, they'll become headache to the community. Yet still you can be compassionate towards them. So a person must be enough mature before he becomes part of a group, because if he is not ready, the group draws out all his dormant vices to the surface, and the group need to handle it. The group will have its own lessons there. So the most important lesson that human race need to learn is the science of group consciousness, and apply this wisdom to build one humanity. Ekam Sat, Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. You are the truth, and there is one truth, and you are that truth. Not anything less, my dear friend. You are Satyam Shivam Sundaram, not anything less. If we are not going to teach this science of group consciousness to every person in the world, and if you're not going to apply it in our own life, if the humanity fails to apply this principle, then it will fall apart. There will be a lot of chaos. See, group consciousness is the basis for your connection to the other being, is your basis for your connection to the world, is the basis for your connection with the nature, is your basis for compassion, is your basis for cooperation, is your basis for anything to do in this world. So everyone needs to learn the science of group consciousness, my dear friends, and apply it. Not just learn it, but apply it. And in each and every human being, one need to know that there's a presence of divine consciousness. Everyone is divine, not anything less. Everything is divine, but it may be buried under piles of glamours, piles of illusions, or piles of vanity, or piles of misunderstandings, piles of pride. It may be buried, but yet know that there is a divine in you. It may be in the seed form now, but it is there. There is a Buddha in you. It may be in the seed form, but it is there. There is a Krishna in you, Jesus in you. It may be in the seed form, but it is definitely there. All that potential lies within you. All the divine potential lies within you. And the people who can express this divinity will have high levels of compassion, will have high levels of tolerance, will have infinite inclusiveness. And you can easily find such people because they radiate that inclusiveness, they radiate that compassion, they radiate that tolerance, they radiate that divinity. You will be you will be able to easily find them. And mostly the intention of such people is to serve others, is to bring out the divinity in others. Nothing else matters to them. And group consciousness is so clear in their hearts. It will be so intense in their hearts that they work in utter self-forgetfulness. In the sense, they'll not be working for themselves, but they'll be working for the group, for the elevation of the group, for the evolution of the group, for the enlightenment of the group. And you will also find their speech so marvelous. They'll be having a very good words in their speech. Such heroes transform not only individuals and groups, but also great masses of people. And they pave the way for future progress. We can take Brahmarshi Patriji, we can take a Buddha, we can take a Mahavira who have worked not just for themselves, but they have worked for many other people. And when we develop group consciousness, my dear friends, we become co-workers of such highly evolved souls. So I request you, I invite you to develop your consciousness as group consciousness and become co-workers for such highly evolved souls. So this is about group consciousness, and we'll see now some principles of group consciousness. Okay, because if you want to develop group consciousness, you need to adhere to certain principles. Unless you adhere to certain principles, this group consciousness cannot be developed. The first value or first principle that is needed for developing group consciousness is respect. So group members must learn the value of respect and practice it towards each other. When you are part of a group, okay, you need to respect the other person in the group. Unless a person in the group respects the other person, there is no real group. And where should this respect be? It should be in your feeling. It should be in your words. It should be in your thoughts. It should be in your behavior towards your group members. Respect, my dear friends. And this holds not just for a group, but it holds true for a family also. In your family, if you're not respecting each other, there is no family. And you may be asking a question, yes, I want to respect the other person, but how? See, respect is nothing but seeing a great value in the other person, seeing the potential of the other person, See, when you see a seed, you don't see a seed as a seed. You see that seed as a potential for a great forest, or you see that seed as a potential for thousands of forests. That is called as seeing potential or seeing a great value. When you see them in such way, they will express their greatness in the same way that you see. So you will be a facilitator. You will be a facilitator to the other person to express their greatness, to live their purpose, to live their special, unique purpose for what they have come to this earth planet. So you respect the other person by seeing the greatness in them, by seeing the great potential in them, by seeing a great value in them, and recognize that. And sometimes, if needed, speak about it. That is what I meant by respect. So this is first principle. The second principle is common goal. See, group members must try to work in harmony with each other. Okay, and they need to have a common goal. So harmony is the third principle. Second principle is common goal. Everyone must promote a common goal. See, if the goal is not clear, they cannot have better communication. They cannot cooperate. They cannot work intelligently. So common goal is needed for better communication, to cooperate, to work more diligently and intelligently, and to be clear in their minds where they are going. So the goal should be center of the group. It must be the axis of the group around which the members must organize their lives, organize their activities also. And to be part of the group consciousness, members must resign from activities, feelings, and thoughts which do not fit the common goal of the group. That awareness must be there. And third principle, harmony. Group members must try to work in harmony with each other while promoting the group goal and also the goals of individual members which do not contradict the group goal. See, my dear friends, I may be part of a group, but I may be having my own individual goal. If my individual goal is contradicting with the group goal, then there's a disharmony. And group members can support the individual members of the group where the individual goal of the individual member does not contradict the group goal. So when group and individual goals are in agreement with each other, then as the individual reaches his goal, the group also reaches its goal. That is the equation, my dear friends. When a person grows, the group also grows. Unless the individual grows, the group doesn't grow. So you can also help individuals to achieve their goals while achieving the group goal. And let there be abundance of wisdom. Let there be abundance of love. Let there be abundance of purity. And let there be abundance of beauty in the group. And let everyone share their wisdom, their love, their purity, and their beauty in the group. And then all these factors increases in the group. The wisdom, the love, the beauty increases, the purity increases in the group, and everyone finally feels fulfilled, my dear friends. This is the third aspect. The fourth aspect is mutual protection. Group members must protect the group and its members from any external attack or danger. Okay, so this results in group consciousness, it results in progress, it results in integrity of the group, and it will also create an influence for the group. So what I meant to say is, it is told by scientific community that we have evolved from one cell, okay, from single cell. It became two and it multiplied. And why does it have to unite with other cells? So it has got united with many other cells towards a common goal, eventually creating our human body, right? So the aspect here to focus upon is the common goal. The same way, in our human body, various groups are in operation. Like we have a nervous system, it's a group. We have glands, it's a group. We have the blood system, it's a group. And we have different systems which are interacting and trying to help each other. And there is a certain level of integrity. If there is no integrity, then the body will collapse. The body does not stay as a body. If there is no integrity, if there is no group consciousness between all these organs or all these systems. So you need to know that the survival of the whole is dependent on the well-being of the group. So even if a system is sick, okay, that means sickness is a sign of disharmony between one group and the rest. Okay, so when any group is affected with sickness, the other groups try to help it recover, because they know that the survival of the whole is dependent on the well-being of the group that is sick. So that's the reason why if something happens to any part of your body, the rest of the systems come and try to heal it. So it's a natural phenomenon that is there, my dear friends. So humanity is like this one human body, but for centuries it has failed to see this most basic condition of life, and it has not worked for unity, cooperation and harmony. Because if you see the world history, you see a lot of wars. You don't see stories of unity, cooperation and harmony, not much. So this is time that each one of us get awakened to group consciousness, my dear friends. Each one of us get awakened to the value of cooperation, to the value of harmony, to the value of unity, my dear friends. I'll ask you a question. What would happen if suddenly all the cells in the body decided to leave the group and scatter everywhere? Just think. All the biological cells in your body decided to leave the group because they are now part of a group, like an organ, right? A muscle or a tissue or a bone. What if they decided to leave the group? Just think of it as if it is real. So what happens? Well, the person would not have a body anymore. He would not exist as a body, right? So that is the importance of group consciousness. Everyone must understand. You are existing as one entity. You are existing as one body because there is a certain level of group consciousness inside you. That is your very existence, my dear friends. Group consciousness is not something you are learning. It is not a new subject you are learning. That is your very existence. That group consciousness is built into it. Unless there is group consciousness, you do not exist. You do not have your existence. So learn that existence means to develop group consciousness, to be aware of this group consciousness, to unite, to cooperate, to harmonize, and sometimes, if needed, renounce one's own goals and keep aside your separative interest for the good of the whole group. Sometimes, maybe, if needed. My dear friends, I'll repeat these words once again. I want you to really take it to your heart. Learn that your existence has a meaning. Learn that your existence has group consciousness built into it. That is the very fabric with which you are made. Group consciousness is the very fabric with which you are made. And your existence is teaching you to unite, to be aware of this group consciousness, to develop this group consciousness. Your existence is teaching you to cooperate. Your existence is teaching you to harmonize. And sometimes, even if needed, keep your separative interests aside for the good of the whole group. This is what we need to learn. And in this context, my dear friends, I want you to think about why humanity has suffered throughout all these ages. Just think, why? Why was there so much of suffering? Why were there so many wars? Why nations fought? Why people fought? The answer is very clear, my dear friends. The human group or the humanity and its individual members have been breaking this law of group consciousness. Were not aware of this law of group consciousness, were not taught the science of this group consciousness, and instead have acted for their own separative interests. That is the point. I want each one of you to realize and reflect and introspect. They acted against this law of group consciousness by maybe by gossiping, by saying disrespectful words on the other, by using malice, by using deception, by using betrayal of trust, or they may have exploited each other. So they did not understand that they are working against their own survival. They have thought that they are working for their own benefit, dear friends, but it did not help, because law of karma always operates. Law of karma brings that integrity into this world, where you do something, the same thing will be done unto you in a multifold. We are not aware of this simple law. So, my dear friends, we'll come to the next law. It's mutual development, or next aspect of group consciousness, mutual development. Group members must encourage and evoke striving to develop greater potentials in each other. So you have a potential, I have a potential. Everyone has a potential. Everyone has a divine potential. And Swami Vivekananda told that you can do anything and everything. All the power lies within. You can do anything and everything, my dear friends. That kind of potential is there in each one of us. But how many people do know that, do realize that, and do utilize that? Very few, right? So the group must help the team in the group or the persons in the group to become more efficient, more prosperous, or more enlightened, so that the whole humanity reaches, or the whole humanity realizes the value of group consciousness, my dear friends. Thus, each group member must encourage others to be something more than what they currently are, to increase their beauty, to become more, and to contribute that beauty to the group. So one needs to encourage each other. One needs to encourage the other person in the group for what they are doing, and facilitating them to realize their greater potential. So the basic principle of group consciousness is to help elevate, evolve, or enlighten other people, so that they in turn elevate, evolve, and enlighten you. The law of karma operates here again. So one need to encourage each other to realize their full potential. So the next aspect of group consciousness is patience. Group members must learn to be tolerant and forgiving towards other group members of the group, giving them an opportunity to fit themselves into the labor of the group. So one need not be arrogant, stubborn, or lazy, or gossiping about others. Okay. So we need to find ways how we can bring higher virtues, how we can bring patience into the group. So this is very important. You need to be tolerant. Sometimes you need to give that helping hand. Sometimes you need to handhold the group member such that he will have his lessons, right? And sometimes you may need to forgive for what they have done, because whatever a person does is with the best of their ability at that particular time. So give that time so that they will be assimilated into the group consciousness gradually, right? So, and another aspect of group consciousness is having sensitivity to the leadership. See, every group will have leadership. The leadership, I am not telling that every group will have a leader. I'm telling that every group needs leadership, and the group member needs to be sensitive towards the leadership. Okay, because the leadership strives to keep the group together, and it also strives that the common group goal is achieved. So one needs to be sensitive, and so one needs to be sensitive to the leadership of the group. So commander, I mean, we have a commander of the group, right? So the commander of the group is not a person who will dictate or who has an authority, but he is a facilitator. And that facilitator must have the power to lead. And he will get his power by giving guidance at the time that is needed, sometimes by giving an advice, or sometimes even imposing that discipline that is needed in the group. Otherwise, the group will disintegrate. So, in reality, leadership is nothing but a goal, a common goal, right? See, Patriji is not a person for me. Patriji is not a person for PSSM. Patriji is not a person for meditators. Although we see him as a person, we know him as a person, but he is a goal. The common goal that he has for the group is making every person in the world as a meditator, right? Every person in the world as a vegetarian. So that is a common goal. So leadership is that goal. Leadership is not a person, but leadership is goal. And it's a plan. It's a purpose presented by the leader for the welfare of all humanity. So one needs to be sensitive to the leadership. Okay. So we come to the next aspect of the group, that is joy. See, when you are present in a group, okay, your words, your thoughts, your actions or your behavior should not bring suffering or sorrow to the others. You must abstain from actions. You must abstain from such actions which will create distress, pain, suffering, or sorrow to others. You need to choose to do those actions which creates joy in the lives of others in the group. Okay. So I want you to examine yourself. Okay. I want you to examine, how can I think? How can I speak? How can I behave? How can I feel? So that I can increase the joy of other members in my group. So, my dear friends, it is only in a joyful atmosphere that great things are achieved. Okay. Joy increases as every member of the group meets his responsibility and is free of guilt feelings from wrongdoing. So see that you contribute to the joy of the group. So these are different aspects of group consciousness. If you have these principles, or if you have awareness of these aspects, then you're a very good candidate to be part of a group. Then your group consciousness will flourish. Then you have got your ticket to oneness, my dear friends. And I'll tell you about common goal right now. So I told that a group must have a common goal. Okay. There are 5 factors involved in having a common goal. It is not just enough that you have a common goal. See, for having a common goal, you need to have certain factors, certain awareness before you get connected to a common goal, right? See, I'm part of a group. If I don't know about my real self, okay, then my participation will be inferior in the group. If I don't know the other persons in the group, okay, then my participation will be inferior. and then I can know the common goal. So the 5 aspects are listed for you. You need to know yourself, you need to know each other in the group, you need to know what the common goal is, right? But these 3 are not sufficient. You need to have 2 more. You also need to know how to reach that common goal of the group, and you need to support each other for reaching that goal. You need to encourage each other for reaching that goal. You need to enthuse each other and bring joy while reaching that goal. So there is no group if any of these 5 factors are not in operation. My dear friends, group consciousness develops around these 5 factors. You need to know yourself, you need to know the other, okay? The other as in the other person, the other as in what we have discussed in the group consciousness. The other as if you are not just the physical body, but you are also other bodies. As if you are not just your own identity here, but you are also that animal beings that are out there, the plant beings, the mineral kingdom, the nature, the planet, the cosmos. You're also that other which is existing out there. So you are aware of that one self existing in you and every other being and every other thing. So ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. There is only one without the other. Okay? This is told by a great learned person, right? So there is one with the other. This is an intermediary step. Then you'll gradually evolve to a level where you will know that there is one without the other. That means everything is one. You will finally go to that oneness consciousness where you will be able to see yourself and others as not different but one. But for that, you need to go through the journey of this group consciousness where you are aware of yourself and you are aware of the whole other that is existing, and then you are aware of this one self existing in you and every other thing that is existing or every other being that is existing, and then finally you will reach a level where you will know that there is only one without the other, ekam sat. Then you'll reach there. So group consciousness revolves around these 5 factors, my dear friends. One, you need to know yourself, you need to know the other, and you need to know what is your common goal, and you need to know how to reach that goal. Okay, and you need to support each other while reaching that goal. You need to encourage each other, you need to bring joy in each other while reaching that goal, right? So then you'll have group consciousness, my dear friends. So when you know yourself better, you'll have more group consciousness. When you know each other better, then your group consciousness improves. And when you know your goal better, your group consciousness develops. When you know how to reach your goal better, okay, then group consciousness unfolds. And if you support and encourage each other, then your group consciousness expands further and further and it flourishes, my dear friends. So this is what is needed while understanding the common goal. It is not enough that you just have a common goal, but these 5 factors are very essential while having a common goal for your group, my dear friends. And I would like to share some steps to develop your group consciousness. This is going to be my final this is going to be my final concept that I'm going to share today, okay? And then I'll take questions. So right now, we'll discuss different steps to develop your group consciousness, okay? So these are very practical, on-ground steps, okay, where we can develop our group consciousness. Now that we have defined group consciousness, we have seen different aspects of group consciousness, and we have seen the 5 factors that are related to have a common goal, okay? Now we'll go with the steps that are needed to develop our group consciousness. So when you're in a group, try to make others happy without allowing them to take advantage of you. You making others happy not at the expense of you becoming a doormat for them. Okay, you make others happy, but you need not allow them to take advantage of you, right? That's uh, that's one step. And you work for the upliftment of your family, upliftment of your group, using devotion, just like how much devotion a devotee will have towards a god. Okay, a devotee like Meera has ultimate devotion towards Krishna, right? The same way, for the upliftment of your group member, you have the same kind of devotion. For the health of your group member, you have the same kind of devotion. For the prosperity and abundance of the group member, you have the same kind of devotion. For the happiness of your group member, you have the same kind of devotion. For allowing your group member to realize his potential and work for the common group goal, you have the same kind of devotion. For facilitating the evolution of your group member, for facilitating the enlightenment of your group member, facilitating the realization of your group member. Okay, so you have the same kind of devotion. For bringing out the potential of your group member, you have the same kind of devotion what Meera had for Krishna, or what a great devotee can have for a god. I just took it as an example, right? But you have the devotion inside you. And my dear friends, let me tell you with experience, when you work for others, when you work for others, health, happiness, prosperity, or upliftment, or others' evolution, there is an immense satisfaction you will have in your heart. This is guaranteed, my dear friends. And in the process, increase your love for group members. You do not have to gossip about them or make false statements about them, right? But do everything possible to make them happy, to make them healthy, to make them prosperous, to make them enlightened, to make them evolve, to make them flourish, to make them nourish. So do everything that is possible by you. And my dear friends, one thing I want to tell, do not commit betrayal of trust against any member. We are here as a group, my dear friends. We exist as a group. That is our innate reality. Although if you recognize or do not recognize, never commit any betrayal of trust against any member. Okay, and all the time, put your time, put your money, put your efforts into making the group capable of rendering better service, in making the group capable of achieving the common goal. So contribute as much as possible, either by your time, either by your efforts, or either by your money. Okay, and some general uh, suggestions. So develop an interest in the affairs of your community. What is happening in your community, in your apartment, maybe in your locality, or in your state, or in your nation, and learn about its problems and see how you can be involved constructively, how you can make a difference. Can you take a meditation class, or can you organize a meditation class? Can you help people who are organizing this meditation class? Just do it. And develop an interest in the affairs of all communities and possibly all nations also. See how you can promote meditation in the world, vegetarianism in the world. See how you can promote cooperation in the world. See how you can promote group consciousness in the world. See how you can promote right human relationships among all the people in the world. You can do that, right? And you can also contact your soul through meditation, because our very existence is group consciousness. We are not separate entities, my dear friends. We are one. When you do meditation, as much as you do meditation, the more you will be connected to the oneness that is existing within each one of us. Our truth is oneness. Ekam Sat. There's only one truth, and that is oneness, my dear friends. So daily think about this one self from whom all things proceed, and to and to whom all things written. There is this one self, right? Only one self, which is existing in you and which is existing in every other thing, in every other being. Think about this one self. Give some space and time for meditation where you can experience the possibility of oneness. So every day, give time to meditation. Every day, give a thought to the existence of oneness, my dear friends. Okay, and be ready to meet your group needs. Okay, and being ready, or this readiness, is a state of being, okay, in which you will have the needed knowledge, skills, energy, or virtues to meet the group needs. Be aware what the group needs and be ready to cater to them. Okay, and my dear friends, when you grow from individual consciousness to group consciousness, I'm sure you will experience greater health, and you will also experience greater happiness, and you will also experience greater prosperity, because what you contribute is what you get, and prosperity is a symbol of Lakshmi. Okay, right? Prosperity and abundance is a symbol of Lakshmi. You will get it only through service. In Telugu, there's a quotation which says, Seve Bhagyamu, Sevaye Bhagyamu. There is no other way where you can get prosperity or abundance unless with service. The ticket to prosperity is service. And you doing service while being part of the group will evolve you, will enlighten you, will expand your consciousness, my dear friends. So when your consciousness expands from individual consciousness to group consciousness, you will have a possibility of greater health, a possibility of greater happiness, a possibility of greater prosperity, a possibility of greater understanding, and you will have more strength and power, and you would be also having a longer lifespan, my dear friend, because you are healthy, right? So what I have been saying is, when a person develops himself to the level of group consciousness from individual consciousness, then he will bloom, he will have his own fragrance of enlightenment, and he will be in the journey of enlightenment, he will be in the journey of oneness, he will be in the journey of healing, my dear friends. So these are the things that I wanted to share with you today. And it is 5:30. It's exactly 1 hour. So now I would like to take some questions from people.
Thank you, Pradeep. That was a wonderful topic. So we have some questions. Let me just ask one by one. Okay. Okay. Whom do you support in female group conscious? Sita or Draupadi or Kali? For the sake of rest of the femininity to take lead. For this as male group conscious, also for this as male group conscious also responsible, right? So that's the question. So for the question, I think there are two questions. One is, whom do you support?
Okay.
Out of Sita, Draupadi or Kali, and also for the sake of the rest of femininity to take lead. For this as male group consciousness is also responsible. So that's the question.
Okay. A very interesting question. I know it has come from a thought process where they see a separation. See, group consciousness means being in the journey of oneness. It's not a journey of separation. Okay. So whom do I support? Whether Sita, Draupadi, or Kali. It's not about supporting one personality or one aspect. Okay, the Sita is an aspect of a divine feminine. Draupadi is also an aspect of a divine feminine, and Kali is aspect of a female who has divine masculine, right? So the question here is not about supporting male group consciousness or female group consciousness. See, group consciousness is group consciousness. Group consciousness does not have a distinction that it is female group consciousness and it is male group consciousness. Group consciousness is independent of the gender, is evolving to an understanding where you are not by yourself existing just as a female or a male. You by yourself is not existing just by your name. You are by yourself is not just existing by your identity, but expanding your thinking, expanding your feeling, expanding your understanding that you exist in not just in yourself, but you also exist in all such ladies or all such males, whoever it is, who have existed in the earlier lifetimes or earlier generations. It may be Sita, Kali. I do exist in that aspect also. I do exist in them. And if it is Shiva, Krishna, Rama, I also do exist in them. You, group consciousness is understanding that you exist in every other being and every other non-being also. You exist in every other thing and every other being. Group consciousness is that. You cannot differentiate as male group consciousness or female group consciousness. Then you did not get the point. Possibly this question may have been asked before I explained what is group consciousness, or the person might not have got what really is group consciousness. Now that I have made it clear, I think I have answered the question. Next question, please.
Thank you. The next question is, and there is one more question, but I'll jump into the third question.
Yeah.
Another very important question is, what is the difference between gossiping and saying truth about someone for good sake?
What is the difference between gossiping and saying truth about someone for good sake?
Yeah.
Okay. See, gossiping means you telling false statements about others, okay, or irrelevant statements about others when it is not needed. And be purposeful in your communication. My dear friends, the words that you use are not just the words that you use, but they have intentions behind those words. What is your intention in saying those words, right? Are you telling those words from the intention of judgment? Are you telling that word from the intention of evaluation and judgment? Okay. Are you, what is your intention? Do you have a good intention? Do you have a bad intention? That is one thing, right? And second thing, is it really necessary that you have to speak about it? Second thing, do you really know the whole truth? Did you communicate with that person about whom you're going to speak? Are you a witness to the fact that you're going to present? Have you seen it with your eyes? Have you heard it with your ears? Were you present when that has happened? Or you're just carrying somebody else's assumption or somebody else's false statement? That is one thing to check. So you need to be clear, one way, one thing. And the other thing is, what kind of words are you using? Are you using the words what Buddha has used? Are you using the words what all enlightened masters have used? Are you using the words what Mahavira has used? Because the kind of words that you use, the kind of intentions with which you are using those words is creating your life, is continuously creating your life. So while being aware that the words that you are using is creating your life moment by moment, is creating the realities of your life moment by moment. When you are aware, you will know what to speak and what not to speak. So then gossiping will not be a possibility there. And you don't even have to think whether I am sharing it for the good of others. So that will become non-significant, because now you know that whatever words you're using with whatever intentions you have, it will get back to you multifold, right? If I use certain words against a person with a malicious intention, right? So then I am creating a reality in my life where I will get back the same kind of reality from different people using words against me with malicious intentions. So this will become a reality for me. I am creating that reality through my words and intentions. So in this awareness of law of karma, and in this awareness of the field of speech and the field of thoughts, nothing can go wrong. I have answered this question. Next question, please.
So, in summary, what you're saying is it's our own inner reflection that comes to us. Is that what you're saying, Pradeep?
Yeah, it can be
Yeah.
taken in that way that what you say, with what intention you say,
Okay.
that is most important. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Pradeep. And we have one more question. How to deal or respond to few people who
Okay.
purposely harm?
Who probably harm?
No, purposely.
Who
Purposefully.
purposefully harm, do a harm.
Yeah.
So, my dear friends, even it has happened in my life that there are some people in the group that was associated who did a harm to me. Okay, who did harm in certain ways, certain expected ways and certain unexpected ways also at certain times. But what I have seen over a period of time, that law of karma has taken its own toll on them or has given gifts for them, right? I've seen people who has contributed to the group goals so selflessly, and the universe has blessed them with beautiful realities. And there are some people who are in a good position and did some harm. I also was a witness to such people, and life has given its own lessons to them. So you deal powerfully with the people who are trying to harm you. So you tell them, you let them know that you're aware, you're not blind. Let them know. When you tell them that you are aware of it, at least you communicate, but do not communicate from assumptions. Okay, communicate with facts. So it might stop them to proceed in that direction. Okay, when the other person is aware that you are aware, it will stop them, one thing. And but in your heart have that awareness that law of karma will take care of your realities and their reality also, in the same way that you have been doing and in the same way that the other person is doing. When you know, when you have a belief and faith in law of karma, or when you know the science of karma, then you'll have a sense of security inside, you'll have a sense of safety inside. That is most important. Thank you. Next question.
Thank you. And this is interesting. So let's say if someone is purposefully harming, right? So it's not my own karma. So I must have done something in the past. So
Okay.
that's why they are harming me now. And can I see the, I mean, this is my question now, right? So can I see that way? So
It very good perspective. So if somebody is harming you, it is very much possible that your karma is being taken away. So you have certain baggage of karma, right? So when somebody is harming you, that means he's taking away your karma. He's cleansing you.
yeah. So
You're being cleansed. It can also be taken in that way. Yes.
okay. Okay. So it's not that they are, I don't just see the current situation that they are harming me,
Right.
but I can also think, okay, I have done something in the past, or maybe my past life deeds or whatever it is. So it is kind of, I'm paying them now.
Right.
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 Okay.
So the purpose of this, the purpose of having this perspective I want you to understand the reason for this perspective. See, everything has a cause and effect. Okay, so with this perspective, you will not have restlessness that this person is harming you. I may have done something in the past, now it is getting cleared, it is being taken away. Okay, when you think, there are two aspects in it. One, you will not be restless, and second, it will reimpose your confidence on law of karma, which is very much needed for a person to feel sane, for a person to feel safe, for a person to feel secure, for a person to feel grounded. Yeah.
Thank you. So another question, I think
Mhm.
you have answered in a different way, but for a different question. So if
Mhm.
the other person doesn't deserve the respect, what
Okay.
should, yeah, that's the question.
Okay. So, my dear friends, if the other person doesn't deserve the respect, so that is your assumption. Why are you making that assumption? What is the intention behind making the assumption? What are the facts that you have got for making the assumption? See, the other person, when you are seeing the other person as a person or a personality, right, then you will have your evaluation and judgment, or you may have your complaints also, right? But when you see other person as a soul, when you see that the divine that is present in you is also present in the other person, right, then your way of looking at that will be very different. Your way of connecting with the other person may be different, but I'm not telling you that if he's dangerous, allow him into your life or allow him into your home. I'm not telling that, right? But I'll give you a small example. See, a small kid is not able to walk properly, right? She's only 11 months or 12 months. Learned she just learned how to walk, and it is so cute. She's not able to walk properly, she's falling down and then getting up and then walking. It will be so cute, you'll be so mesmerized, everyone is, right? When a small kid is trying to learn and walk by falling down at times and then come again, that is how we look at it. Then there is a person who has been a drunkard, he drinks a lot, and then this person is also not able to walk properly, he's falling down and then uh, walks again, he's smelling badly sometimes. So you will have a lot of hatred and anger toward that person. Why are there two different feelings for the same behavior? A small kid is not able to walk properly, falling down and walking again. This drunkard is also falling down and walking again, not able to walk properly. Okay. Here, the the physical age of the kid is less, so she's not able to walk properly. The person who is a drunkard, his soul age is less. Here, this is a baby in terms of the physical body, but here the drunkard is a baby soul. So we have an infant soul, baby soul, young soul, and then old soul, right? So, or middle-aged soul, one more soul in between, kind of soul. So you have your own soul evolution. You yourself has evolved from being an infant soul to a baby soul and to a young soul, and then gradually graduated and become an old soul, and then you're still having your lessons, otherwise you are not sitting in this meditation session. So what is your perspective? You as an old soul, how are you seeing that infant soul? How are you seeing that baby soul? What is the perspective that you need to hold as a soul? If you see the other person as a soul, I want you to question yourself, because as a young person or an old person, you see this baby as so cute, where you know that she will learn how to walk gradually, but it is so cute for you. Then why are you not able to see that drunkard as so cute soul, which will learn its own lessons and then graduate from being an infant soul to be, and then become a baby soul, and then become a young soul, and then gradually become a old soul? So this is the difference between seeing others from a physical life perspective and from a soul perspective. So inculcate this soul perspective. So your mind will not be restless. You'll be able to happily sit in your meditation. So that know that in the yoga parampara, okay, there are different ages for the soul also, and they are still in their initial incarnations of the soul, and they have their lessons to learn. With this understanding, you will be calm and you'll be able to accept. Thank you, Roy. You can go for the next question.
So,
Or you can share your understanding of what I've told you.
No, absolutely fine. So, I think you have answered this question. There's another question while you are explaining, while you are giving the answer. I think you have answered that. Law of karma will affect the person who is harming, but these actions are affecting our present life. So what to do? I think we just said that, it is our own karma which is biting us back. I think you have answered that, but if you want to add, yes.
I just want to add, be alert, be aware, and do all the righteous things to handle it. I'm not telling you to sit idle and just face it, but see what righteous things can you do to handle it.
Right.
And let the other person know. And the first thing is be in communication. See, everyone has an inner world, okay, where righteousness is its natural virtue. Everyone naturally connects to righteousness. There is no person who would not connect to righteousness. That is the very fabric with which we are made, because we are not made as an individual entity. We are an entity with group consciousness, right? So inside everyone, they know that they are not separate from you. So they wouldn't want to harm. It is just that those layers, they may be covered with certain layers of ignorance, which is making them do it. They may be covered with the ignorance of law of karma. So be in communication. When you are in communication, without any assumptions, so many things would get clear. Even if that is not happening, yes, there might be some karma that is getting cleansed from you. And my dear friends, know that when other person is doing any harm or danger to you, then he is accumulating that karma of getting multifold danger and multifold harm into their own life. Know that. And when you know that, you will be compassionate towards them. So I think, I know this is not very simple. For saying here, I might tell it. Even for me to practice this, yes, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of understanding. And so for everyone. But at least think from this possibility.
So this, I have, I mean, there is no question from other, I mean, we have other questions, but answer, I have got one more question. So you are saying, be in communication with the person, one, or is it also good to, I mean, when I speak to people and they're like, no, I don't want to be in communication with him for some time because somehow I don't feel like talking to him. So that gap will also, correct the situation over the period of time, or is it just, the more you try to escape from the situation, the more you are trapped? Is that the case? How does it?
Very, very good question. Because this feeling of isolation do exist in people. It may be for different reasons. Okay, you may want to isolate yourself from person X and person Y, but you may want to feel that closeness or have that proximity with person Z, right? But various reasons. But understand that any feeling of isolation is a sign of individual consciousness which has not yet developed which has not yet blossomed into group consciousness. Think from this perspective. Any feeling of isolation, for whatever reasons, means you are learning deep lessons in individual consciousness, and your vehicle, your mental body or your vehicles are being prepared for group consciousness. That is happening. And
Not that
till what time I have to be in isolation? That's a question that you need to ask yourself, because as I was telling in the last session, it is till your wisdom blossoms. Okay. See, the problem is in this level. The problem is in this level. If your wisdom is in this level, the person is stuck. The problem is in this level. But my wisdom, I have increased my wisdom either through meditation or either through attending some swadhyaya sessions like this. Okay. Then what happens is the problem will not be a problem anymore, because my wisdom is in this level. I have gained wisdom over the problem, or I have gone beyond this problem. The problem will not affect me anymore. And my dear friends, see, we all come from the game of individual consciousness. We all think initially that we are separate, but as our spiritual understanding flourishes, okay, as we do more and more meditation, then we will understand that we are not separate, but we are one with every other being or one with every other thing. And in that process, this feeling of isolation will go away. Feeling of being connected will come. Feeling of being interconnected with all of life. See, now there is air around me. There is space around me. Am I feeling connected? There is a table in front of me. There is a wire in my ear. Am I feeling connected? This is not separate. This t-shirt is not separate from me. If I activate my group consciousness, if I increase my understanding of group consciousness, then I'll feel a beautiful oneness with the t-shirt that I'm wearing. I feel a beautiful oneness with what I'm speaking. I feel a beautiful oneness with you who is asking the question, and with the people who may be asking those questions in a YouTube channel, and with all the people who are watching this video. My group consciousness gets nurtured even more. I will feel that oneness with all of you, with all the books that are surrounding me, with all the shelves, with all the non-living things and all the living beings also. So that's a journey, and it's a journey for everyone. It's a journey for me, and this journey will lead towards oneness.
Thank you, Pradeep. I think we have 3 more minutes, but I can just see if there are questions.
Okay.
Looks like there are some questions asking your opinion. That's why I did not ask those in the beginning. So, right. So, whom do you support in female question is important. In female question is important because all the innocent female in divine feminine group also praising Krishna, Krishna. So, need male opinion among female. Krishna used Meera for his name. Speak only among Sita, Draupadi, or Kali category for the sake of truth. I don't know if I have understood the question right.
Okay, no problem. I think I have answered the
You have
question
answered
earlier.
it.
So
There's
let's
no-
meditate for these 2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
And I thank each one of you from the core of my heart. From the core of my heart, that is one with each one of you. Okay. For having attended this session or having listened to this session. Let's meditate for the next 2 minutes. Just close your eyes.
Yes, Pradeep, just sorry, just before we. So I think you have answered this, but again, just because there was a question raised, right? So how to deal with abusive husband? So again, I think you answered in multiple times.
Okay, we'll take this offline because we have 2 more minutes and we'll go for meditation. Just a couple of 2 minutes meditation. Thank you. Just close your eyes, my dear friends. Breathe in. Breathe out. Be aware while you're breathing in, and be aware while you're breathing out. Relax yourself. Just relax. Feel one with your body. Feel one with your mind. Feel one with your intellect. Feel one with all the 7 bodies of your existence. Just relax. Feel one with the whole of existence. Feel one with your heart. Feel one with all the living beings in the entire cosmos. Feel one with all the non-living things in the entire cosmos, with all the 5 elements with which this cosmos is made. Feel one. We are group consciousness. The self that is residing in you is also residing in every other living being and non-living thing. Be aware of this fact in your heart, in your wisdom. Just be aware of the underlying oneness, of the underlying group consciousness. We're all one, my dear friends. Only thought separates us. Just get into the space of oneness. Group consciousness, elevating your individual consciousness to group consciousness is your ticket to oneness. Last 30 seconds. Be one with all the good things in the world, all the great things in the world, all the beautiful things in the world. Be one with the entire existence without any judgment. Be one with the entire cosmos. Just be one. Just be. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes from the beautiful space of oneness with a little smile on your face.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pradeep. And Santosh had to leave.